How's it going, guys? This is Jason. Welcome back to Magic the Gathering Arena. We're going to be doing another standard event today, and we're going to be giving another try to Mono Red Aggro. This one made by Lucas Gigs, a recent competition, and this one's a slight variation on the one that we played before. It's got some of the same staples of Mono Red Aggro in the current meta, like Light Up the Stage, Bone Crusher Giant, Fervent Champion, but this one has a few different endgame finishers than the previous red deck I used. The previous one I used, I know, had Embercleave. This one relies more on Torbran and Experimental Frenzy as the four-cost, the high part of the curve, basically. So we're going to see how this works out for us. I don't think we've used yet a deck in my episodes that has a Torbran in it, so hopefully that'll work out. 2 lands, lots of cheap creatures, looks good to me. We'll probably do Fervent Champion first since he has haste, unless he plays a blocker, in which case we'll do Scorch Spitter. Oh, it's our turn first, so yeah, we're definitely doing haste creature first. Getting some hitching, but hopefully that clears up after a few minutes. Turn 2, I'm thinking Scorch Spitter and Rimrock Knight buff. Oh, he's destroying that, okay. Well, Castle Emberthrout for sure, and then we're going to do Scorch Spitter. And that's all we can do. There's no reason to buff this if it's not attacking, so let's see what he does. We've got removal in Slaying Fire and Bone Crusher Giant, so that's good. This is looking like an Izzet deck, so I'm wondering if his endgame is Niv Mizzet. Let's get this out. Let's do Rimrock Knight, and we'll keep Bone Crusher Giant available with 2 mana for 2 damage, and then actually, on second thought, we might play Rimrock Knight, the creature. Yeah, I think we'll do that. Let's get even more attackers out. We're doing a pretty good job of damaging him thus far. He hasn't played any prevention yet for our damage. But we do have direct damage removal in our hand to deal with anything he might put in the way of our creatures. Looks like he's trying to remove something. Okay. That's a good use of Lava Coil. I'd rather see that done on Rimrock Knight than I would on Bone Crusher Giant. So we're still looking good. So I'm thinking we'll... Wow, we have so many Slaying Fires. That's 4 damage to any target. So we actually have 12 damage right here, just to his face, if he doesn't have a counter for it. So we're looking really good right now. We're going to attack. And we're going to do Bone Crusher Giant to his face or to a creature before his end step, and then we'll play Bone Crusher Giant the creature during our turn. That's fine. He's playing very reactively. He's not putting out anything that's really a threat yet, so we've got him on the ropes. He's drawing more cards. It looks like it might be mana starved. I can't quite tell. No, because I played first, and so he should only have as many, if not fewer, lands than me. Okay, let's do Bone Crusher Giant to his face. And then we'll play Bone Crusher the creature on my turn. And I gotta remember, we still have Castle Emberth that we can use to buff Bone Crusher Giant if he lets damage go through with it. That, on top of all these Slaying Fires, we're in a really good position right now. Arclight Phoenix, that's sort of a defensive card. I don't know if it's gonna help him here. I think we're going to... So we don't want Bone Crusher to get killed by Arclight Phoenix when he blocks with it, so I think we're just going to use Slaying Fire on it, and we'll use Light Up the Stage after Bone Crusher deals damage to his life pool. So let's do this. Get that attack through, and then Light Up the Stage. We got another Bone Crusher Giant, that's really good. We'll play that next turn for sure so we don't lose it. And he needs to come up with an answer for this stuff soon, otherwise we're going to overwhelm him with our damage. Alright, he's got a blocker. Let's destroy that with Bone Crusher. We can bait a counter. Okay, so it doesn't look like he has any counters, so this might be game. Let's go ahead and try and finish him. Yep, good game. Alright, we're off to a good start with Mono Red. It's looking like it's performing the way it's supposed to, with just that rapid fire damage. It also helps that it looked like that guy wasn't really getting what he needed. He was mostly getting like draw spells. But, let's try it again. definitely looking forward to the Torbran kill. They're always really satisfying when you have like a bunch of like 1/1 creatures and you play a Torbran. Oh, this is not going to work. We only have 1 land. That's an automatic mulligan in my book. Now we have 3 land, and this is way better. Yeah, let's keep this. I'm thinking we can get rid of one of these lands, I think. We only need really 2 because there's so many cheap spells in this kind of deck, and then Experimental Frenzy we'll just have just in case we end up getting more lands later. But yeah, red, you need like minimal lands and then just lots of cheap things to keep the pressure on. Temple of Malady, okay. So let's do Runaway Steamkin. Next turn we'll probably do Scorch Spitter or Bone Crusher Giant, depending on if he plays something we want to remove. Okay, to be expected. Everyone destroys Runaway Steamkin when they see it. Lovestruck Beast, okay. So question is, do we want to do Scorch Spitter or do we want to do Bone Crusher Giant? I'm thinking Scorch Spitter so we can attack next turn. And if this thing's still a blocker next turn, we'll probably destroy that with Bone Crusher Giant. Of course, he could play Lovestruck Beast. Oh, he did a tap land, so that's not going to happen this turn at least. Paradise Druid, okay. Is he going to attack with his 1/1? No? Okay. Well, there's our land. I think we're going to use Bone Crusher Giant. We're going to destroy his 1/1. And then I think we're going to attack with Scorch Spitter, and if he doesn't block, we're going to use Rimrock Knight as a buff. So let's go with that. Let's go ahead and attack. See if he blocks. Did not block, so let's buff him. Okay. He's probably got like a Questing Beast or something. I hate it when I'm right. So that's going to be an issue. Luckily, we can destroy it with Slaying Fire. And that would, honestly, that would probably be a pretty good target for Slaying Fire, because not only is he doing big damage, he's also a blocker, because he has Vigilance. So I'm thinking Slaying Fire right now, and then just attack again with Scorch Spitter. That seems good to me. Yep. He still has a lot of cards in his hand, which is a little concerning. Oh, and Nissa, that's not good. So Nissa's bad because he's just going to keep creating creatures, and creatures... they're creatures with Vigilance, no less. They can just be blockers even though they're attacking, so that's a little bit of an issue. We may need to play Bone Crusher. Okay, here's what I'm thinking. We're going to attack Nissa with Scorch Spitter. If he blocks, then I'm going to use Rimrock Knight buff on Scorch Spitter to destroy one of his lands, and then we'll do Bone Crusher Giant the creature. Let's do that. We need to take care of this threat, even though we're diverting damage from his life pool. Nissa's a threat that we cannot ignore. We need to take that out now. Wait, let me just double check. Okay, yeah, Castle Emberth only gives +1/+0, so that wouldn't be enough to kill him. Okay, so that's good, and then we'll play Bone Crusher Giant. Yeah. Next turn we have enough for 2 Rimrock Knights, so that's always good. And this is now a blocker for Paradise Druid at least. Vraska. Okay, so Vraska can destroy our Bone Crusher. That may happen. Yep. Okay. We may need to play Experimental Frenzy pretty soon. In fact, we may need to do that before we play Rimrock Knight, because now he has this 5/5 blocker, and these Rimrock Knights aren't going to be that... Oh, you know what? But I can. I'm about to die. I wasn't even paying attention to my life total. Do I have any 1-cost spells in here? No. Yikes. Yeah, I'm about to die if I cannot stop... Well, I have one more turn, technically. If he doesn't play a 1/1 creature... Oh, no, because he's going to create another creature with Nissa, so I'll be dead for sure. He'll do 8 damage. I need to play a blocker, and it's not actually possible for me to play a blocker because neither one of these can block, and Chandra can only create creatures that'll be sacrificed at the end of the turn, so I think I'm dead here, actually. Let's just double-check the graveyard, make sure there's nothing that I can pull out with Chandra. Yeah, I'm dead. Let's just play Experimental Frenzy, just for the sake of... We could have gotten a land and maybe a Scorch Spitter That's about all I could foresee, but we did not, so that's pretty much it. Let's get ready with the good game. And there it is, good game. Just had a little bit... His creature power is just a little bit overwhelming. It's too much for me to destroy. Okay. Well, one thing I'll say is we're at least doing better than my first attempt with Mono Red last time. I think I got shut out. It was basically, I went 0 wins and 3 losses, so... Already it's an improvement. Alright, what do we got here? 3 lands, a bunch of cheap spells. I like it. We'll probably do Bone Crusher turn 2. Or potentially wait. The thing I don't like about this is that we don't have any turn 1 creatures, and our turn 2 spell is a direct damage, so it's not like something that'll actually develop our field. But I'd rather keep this than go down to 6. Plus there's always the chance we could draw something, like a tiny creature. Keep. Hello. Looks like he mulliganed, so that's good news. We didn't really need 4 lands, so I'm not that happy to see this. Archive Troll. Yikes. So, we might need to use... Bone Crusher cannot destroy that, unfortunately. It might be worth it to just play Rimrock Knight, the creature, and just start attacking with a 3/3, which he can choose to block with his Archive Troll. But at the moment, it doesn't seem like we're going to be able to play his instant +2/+0 anytime soon. Oh, a Simic deck. Interesting. Huh. I did not think Simic when I saw Archive Troll. Okay, so that'll go through. We'll attack with Rimrock Knight, start getting some damage in. Torbrand, fantastic. And we have the land for him. Wow. So that changes things. We might want to do... We might want to... Okay, let's attack first of all. We might want to do Light Up the Stage. I can't decide between Light Up the Stage or Bone Crusher Giant. So let's get this damage through first. I think we're going to do Light Up the Stage. Just see what we get. Hopefully not 2 mountains. Okay, good. We have enough for Lava Coil, so let's... If we use Lava Coil on this guy, he's going to use the Hexproof thing to put him down to 2. So let's use Lava Coil on Biomancer's Familiar. Sounds good to me. Just so it doesn't go to waste. Next turn we'll have Torbrand out, and we'll start doing big damage that he cannot ignore. Benthic Biomancer, okay. He's probably going to block Rimrock Knight with Benthic Biomancer when he sees the Torbrands out. There's no reason not to, it's a 1/1. Let's do this, and yeah, there's no reason not to play Torbrand. I don't think he has very much removal in this color scheme, so I'm not that worried about putting Torbrand out now. So let's put this out. Probably gonna block. Wow, we let it go through. Wow, it's 5 damage. And there's Nissa. Okay, we need to destroy Nissa. And luckily, I think Slaying Fire will just one-shot her, because it's 4 damage plus 2 from Torbrand, so that's 6 damage right on top. So let's just go ahead and destroy Nissa right away. Awesome. And we've got enough for Bone Crusher or Fervent Champion. I'm thinking Fervent Champion because Fervent Champion's going to do 3 first strike damage and basically be able to destroy anything that he has up there. He'll have to block with 2 things if he wants to kill it. So let's attack with those 2. We'll keep Torbrand back as a blocker because obviously I don't want to lose him to combat. Oh, I forgot he buffs Rimrock Knight. Awesome. So that's even more damage coming in. Yep, there's the 1/1 blocker. This is looking really good, especially since he only has 2 cards in his hand at the moment. We're looking really good right now. We've also got Experimental Frenzy on deck, which will basically keep us having the cards come in. He's got a bunch of blockers. Let's play another Mountain. We're going to do Bone Crusher and I think Rimrock Knight. Bone Crusher can destroy... We'll probably destroy his Forest. Let's wait until he assigns blockers, though. And actually, I think we're going to attack with Torbrand because he'll need at least 2 creatures to block Torbrand. And I think that we can... Actually, no. If he blocks with all 3 creatures on Torbran, then Torbran will die even if I remove one of them. So that's not really worth the risk. Let's attack with just Fervent Champion. And we'll keep Torbran as a blocker. We want to protect Torbran at all costs right now. So the possibility of him blocking with all 3 creatures is enough to not attack with Torbran. Okay, so he's letting that through. Let's buff him with Rimrock Knight. Looks like he does have something he can do. Oh, it's probably just Barkhide Troll's ability. Let's let that go through. That's 5 more damage. He's on the ropes now. And we've got Bone Crusher Giant, and actually we can just kill him with Bone Crusher Giant, I believe. Unless he has prevention for this, or a counter. That should do 4 damage. That's that. Good game. As predicted, Torbran, extremely powerful in the right circumstances. And that's the Torbran victory I was looking for. We're 2-1. Let's keep it going. And I said this last time we did a mono deck, or mono red deck episode, but something I love about these style decks is just how fast the games are. Like, even if you lose, it's just lightning fast games. We're probably going to do Fervent Champion turn 1, Runaway Steamkin turn 2. And we've got a Torbran for later on. Excellent. Yep, here comes Fervent Champion. I'm guessing he has an Opt or a Spectral Sailor since there was a pause and he's got a blue land untapped. Spectral Sailor, okay. He's probably not going to block with it, yeah. So Spectral Sailor, potentially the target of a removal spell if I get one. Let's put out Castle Embrith, and we're going to do Runaway Steamkin. Although one thing I don't like is the fact that he has 2 untapped blue mana. That makes me think counter. Are there 2-cost creature counters though? I know there's Negate, but that's non-creatures. Let's give it a try. Let's attack first. There's no reason not to attack first and just... Okay, so there's definitely pausing. The fact that there's pausing before combat makes me think it might not be a counter that he has, or he might have a counter in addition to something else, but he has something he can play that's not a counter at the very least. So let's do Runaway Steamkin now. I'm going to bet that he doesn't have a creature counter. Oh. Oh, Quench. Quench, okay. Well, rip. Well, okay, we'll chalk that up to a baited counter that is no longer a problem for Torbran. Problem is we don't have enough land for Torbran right now, so we're going to need to do Light Up the Stage after we attack, I think. We want to get mana for Torbran. Yes. Whoop, that's not the right card. Light Up the Stage. Hopefully we get a land. Unless he counters this, in which case we'll just play another creature. Awesome, we got 2 lands. And next I think we're going to do Fervent Champion. Let's see if he counters this. Alright, that's going to be it. Maybe he has a Brineborn Cutthroat. There it is. Yeah, so those are going to be a bit of an issue, but if we can, we're going to... Oh, he's already buffing it, wow. If we're probably going to just try and destroy his Brineborn Cutthroat with Bone Crusher Giant on my turn. Hopefully he doesn't have any counters for that, but my guess is he's going to leave all his lands untapped during his turn. Oh, you know what I can do? I'll block it, since he has First Strike, I'll buff him. And then I'll try and bait one of his counters. If he counters and he's tapped out, then I can use Bone Crusher to destroy this guy. Oh, I almost buffed the wrong guy. Yeah, so he's probably going to counter this. There's Quench. Hopefully he doesn't have another 2-cost counter, and then I can destroy Brineborn Cutthroat with Bone Crusher. It's going to be a tough call, though. Actually, he doesn't even need a counter. All he needs is a spell he can play. Because just playing the spell during my turn is going to buff him. So maybe I should wait until his turn to play Bone Crusher Giant. Let's do this mountain, regardless. Actually, no. I'm going to do it now because if he does something in response, like a counter, then that's one less I have to worry about for Torbran, and we can get him out. Let's see what he... There's definitely a pause, so I think he's going to do something. Yeah, he played a spell. Okay. Fair enough. So luckily Bone Crusher wasn't fizzled, so we can still play him as a creature later. We're going to keep Fervent Champion as a blocker, because we can still buff him and make him a 3/1 first striker. Potentially destroy his Brineborn Cutthroat if he doesn't have another counter. So let's try this again. I'm seeing a pause, so I think he does have something he can play, but it's got to be a counter, otherwise it's not going to buff Brineborn Cutthroat. Wow, he did have a counter. Well, this is good. We're drawing out all of his counters, hopefully, and we're going to try and play Torbrand on our turn, since he's mostly tapped out. Let's play this land. There's Torbrand. Does he have any one-cost counters? No. Excellent. So Torbrand made it to the field. Problem is he's amassing quite an army, so we do need to actually take care of this. Luckily, one Bone Crusher will destroy Brineborn Cutthroat if he doesn't have anything he can do in response. I could also destroy Brineborn Cutthroat right now by blocking with Torbrand. Is that a trade I feel good about? No, I want Torbrand alive. We're gonna take this for now. We're getting a bit low, but if we can just draw like a direct damage spell, perfect. 2 Bone Crusher Giants. Okay, so he's dead now. I think. No, actually, he's gonna buff to 5. It depends on if he has a counter. If he has a counter, then he's gonna survive. If he does not have a counter, even if he buffs him again, I can just play the second one and destroy him. So let's do this. Oh my god, he did have another one. I can't believe this. This is unbelievable. Well, this changes things. We're going to need to play this Bone Crusher as a blocker for the Brineborn Cutthroat. That's the only thing that there is. Because we're not going to block with Torbrand. That would waste the entire purpose of getting him out. But this guy can block Brineborn Cutthroat. Then we just have to tolerate 3 more damage from these guys and find a solution for them. So let's do this. And let's just attack with Torbrand since he's not going to be blocking. And he does a whopping 4 damage. So we're still in this fight a little bit, but we do need to find more cards. We need to not draw lands, basically. What is this? Oh wow, he just did 4 damage because he targeted him, so that was actually really good. Oh, except that I didn't have a blocker, I didn't even realize. Wow. RIP. It looks like he got exactly what he needed in that Brazen Borrower. That's really unfortunate. Well, we're 2-2. Let's go again. I feel like that was just bad luck. I mean, he was top decking, and he just happened to draw a bounce card. Yeah. All right. We got a Shock, Bone Crusher Giants, Rimrock Knight. Looks good to me. Experimental Frenzy for later. Hello. We're going to try and pass as soon as possible so that he might not notice that we have a Shock. Okay, and then we'll do Runaway Steamkin. I like seeing white because that makes me think that Runaway Steamkin might not get removed right away. Gateway Plaza, what the hell is this? Okay, let's do... We're going to do lots of cheap spells so that we can buff Runaway Steamkin multiple times. I'm thinking Rimrock Knight as a buff, and Bone Crusher Giant direct damage. That sounds good to me. And then we can play both of those as creatures later. Actually, no, we're going to do Rimrock Knight as a buff and then play Rimrock Knight the creature. That's a better idea. We can keep Bone Crusher Giants as removal spells if needed. Yeah, this is way better. Now we've got 5 damage coming in. We've got 2 creatures on the field. And we've got lots of removal spells in our hand for whatever comes up. We're in a pretty good position right now. Castle Lochthwain. What is this deck? Vampire of the Diremoon. That's getting destroyed. Let's play Mountain. And we're going to wait until we exhaust our hand before we play Experimental Frenzy. But we're definitely destroying Vampire of the Diremoon right away. Okay, let's go ahead and attack before we use Runaway Steamkin's stuff. And let's play Bone Crusher Giant damage. Oh, wow, that was fast. Good game. Okay, and just like that, we're at 3-2 now. Let's go again. Yeah, I've said this before, but it's really no surprise why people just destroy Runaway Steamkin as soon as they see it. Oh my god, I got 2 of them. Awesome. Let's keep this. So depending on the color you're facing, they can be a huge problem. Like, against colors that don't have very good removal, like white, then Runaway Steamkin's really good. White or green, I think, are the best ones for Runaway Steamkin. Hello. Let's pass so that he doesn't know we have a shock. Now, black has good removal, but we do have 2 Runaway Steamkins, so that's at least good for us. We're going to try and get both of them out there. Looks like he didn't remove it right away, which is encouraging. Let's play another one. And there's no pause when I cast things, so I don't think he has an instant for 2 mana. Interesting. Well, we're going to buff Runaway Steamkin with Rimrock Knight, and we're going to have a shock on deck in case he plays anything that can be destroyed by that. Actually, we could actually play shock just to get a bit more damage out of these guys, and then I can use this guy for 3 mana on something else. So let's do that, actually. Let's do direct damage to him. We can do Light Up the Stage with the mana from Runaway Steamkin. Look at this damage. It's turn 2, and we haven't down to 7. Let's use Light Up the Stage now. Look at this combo. It's insane. We got another shock and a land. We might actually kill him this turn, depending on how things go. Yeah, we actually have enough to kill him. I can't believe this. This is a turn 3 kill. This is unbelievable. Good game. He didn't get to play a single spell. That's a new record, I think, for red deck. For me, at least. Yeah, I don't think I've ever had a victory so fast where the other person wasn't able to play a single spell. Let's keep it going. Lightning fast. Let's go right back at it. Oh man, those Runaway Steamkins are so good. Yeah. So for anyone who's going up against mono red decks, just know, if you see a Runaway Steamkin, destroy it immediately, if you can. Three lands, Runaway Steamkin, shock, Light Up the Stage, looks good to me. Blue, I'm not that happy to see that, but let's pass so that he doesn't know we have a shock. So I'm thinking this is a mono blue with maybe a Brineborn Cutthroat. I'm thinking at the end of my turn that might do Brineborn Cutthroat, but I'd be happy with that as long as I can get Runaway Steamkin out, so let's do that. Of course, they could have a Quench like last time, but we're going to risk it. Oh, Essence Capture, okay. Well, at least he didn't have a creature to buff with Essence Capture. That makes me think that he didn't have a better alternative for countering at 2 mana at least. He might have a Sinister Sabotage at 3 mana. What to do now? We could do a shock and Light Up the Stage. I like that idea. Let's do that. There's a pause, so he definitely has something he can do in response. Let's Light Up the Stage. Now he might think since I didn't play a land that I'm like mana screwed, and he might counter Light Up the Stage to prevent me from drawing mana. So let's just see if he does that. And if he does, and there it is, countered. But we do actually have land, so I'm fine with that. We're baiting a lot of counters right now, and hopefully we can get Torbran out. So I'm still a little bit hesitant. He still has 4 cards. He has 3 mana untapped. I'm thinking we're going to go for Rimrock Knight instead of Torbran right now. And just see if there's a pause. There is a pause, so I think he still has stuff he can do. And he did counter it, okay. Next turn, we can either do Experimental Frenzy or Torbran. I think that... Oh, what is Blast Zone? I don't like that. I think we're going to go with Torbran, because Experimental Frenzy is more long-term for my deck in terms of giving me draw power whereas Torbrand's like a short-term threat. So let's do Torbrand. It's probably going to get countered, but we're just baiting all the counters we can so that Experimental Frenzy can get through. Yeah. As much as I love Torbrand, Experimental Frenzy, when he still has 18 health, is going to be the way to go. This person has not done a single thing except for countering. Did they have just counters in their hand? What's going on? Alright, so there's a creature at least. They still have 3 mana untapped, but only 1 blue mana is untapped, so that makes me think they don't have a Sinister Sabotage or something. So now we can do Chandra. Or I think we're going to do Chandra. Chandra's still vulnerable to Hypnotic Sprite's damage, but we can get Shock back with Chandra. Oh, actually we can't if Chandra takes damage, so we'll have to do like Slaying Fire to destroy this. Yeah, let's just get it out there. What we can do actually is if it gets out there and it's not countered, we can give Chandra a loyalty counter instead of creating 2-1-1s. Looks like it is going to be countered though. Yeah, Hypnotic Sprite, okay. Wait a second. Oh, okay. The adventure ability costs only 1 blue mana. Alright, so we're still looking okay. We're going to probably do Experimental Frenzy next, depending on what we draw. But we've exhausted a lot of their counters. Fae of Wishes? Are you serious? Are they going to look for more counters? God! It's the most annoying deck. What is this? Oh! Put 9 +1/+1 counters on target land you control. It becomes a legendary 0/0 elemental creature with haste. It's still a land? Oh, man. That was a good pick, because, you know, this player is smart. They know that mono red does not have answers for gigantic creatures, because it can only do direct damage. Well, he's basically tapped out, so now is as good a time as any to do Experimental Frenzy, so let's do that now. We have a Shock. We should probably destroy one of his creatures. We've got a Fervent Champion. Fervent Champion we're not going to be able to use because we're going to draw him into our hand, and then we don't have access to our hand while we have this enchantment, so we're not sure what we're getting next. Man, that 9/9 thing is an issue, though. Hopefully we can just overwhelm the field with tiny creatures, since we have Experimental Frenzy, and have chump blockers. But, yeah. That's a huge threat. We essentially need a creature next turn to block. We've got a Mountain, and we've got Bonecrusher Giant. Fantastic. So we're going to do Bonecrusher to start dealing damage to his face, and then we'll have mana left over for Bonecrusher Giant, the creature. Let's do this. And that kind of worked out because we only had a Mountain on deck next. We wouldn't have been able to play anything else anyway, so Bonecrusher it is. Now we've got a Chump Blocker. Hopefully he doesn't have a bounce spell, because if he does, then that's game over for me. Yeah. The other issue is he can return Fae of Wishes to his hand anytime he wants by discarding those cards in his hand. And then he can just find another card that he wants to play from his sideboard. Okay, Scorch Bitter, so that's our next Chump Blocker. Hopefully he doesn't counter it. Okay, let it go through. Slaying Fire. We're going to start doing damage to his face. We got another Bonecrusher on deck. Awesome. Yeah, let's just do all the direct damage we can while we have a Chump Blocker. And doing this will allow us to have Bonecrusher on deck for next turn. And we can actually... Let's use this Adventure ability now. Good game. Oh, does that mean he has a bounce spell for Scorch Spitter? I think it does. Let's just buff Scorch Spitter so that we can have his creature available to cast next turn if he doesn't actually end the game on his turn. It's looking like he's going to bounce Scorch Spitter. I think that's what this is coming to. Oh! No, he also has Blast Zone. Oh, that's probably what this is. He might Blast Zone Scorch Spitter to remove the blocker. Yeah. That did not occur to me. Damn it. So I really should have played Bonecrusher Giant the creature. Oh wait, he's not doing it? Oh, okay. What is he getting? Does he have a 2-cost that can remove Scorch Spitter? Oh, he's giving it flying! Nice. Okay, well that's fair enough. Good game. Yeah, I'm sure the guy had plenty of ways he could have ended it, and he just chose one. Okay. Well, we got to 4 wins at least, so we broke even with the entry cost of the standard event. It's basically all I can ask for. It's like it's an average playthrough, essentially. So yeah, let's see what we got for prizes. I definitely like playing with the Torbrand variation of the red deck wins. Okay, and that was it for prizes. It was just uncommons. But yeah, I definitely like playing with the Torbrand variation. Also, Experimental Frenzy. I feel like too often red decks run out of steam, and Experimental Frenzy is a great solution for that. That can just allow you to continue pumping out those tiny creatures and damage spells. And yeah, Torbrand obviously can just end the game in the right circumstances. So we at least got one Torbrand victory, which is what I was hoping for, where he basically was able to produce so much damage with all my other cards that it overwhelmed the opponent. I'm also happy about that turn 3 victory we got, where the opponent wasn't able to play a spell. That was pretty exciting as well with the Flamekin combo. But yeah, that's going to wrap this episode up. Thank you guys for watching. I'll see you next time.